Welcome to the beating heart of the chess world, to the cold of Norway but the fiery atmosphere of the chessboard in Stavanger. Today, you are about to witness not just a chess match but a battle for the throne. In one corner, the man who has sat alone at the summit of chess for years, the invincible Magnus Carlsen, playing on his home turf in front of his own crowd. In the other corner stands the new prince of chess, the fearless, bold young prodigy Gukesh, the biggest contender to shake Carlsen's throne. This match is a war between experience and youth, between nerves of steel and endless energy. You can hear a pin drop in the hall. The only sounds are the relentless ticking of the chess clock and the breathing of the players. But beneath this silence, you cannot even imagine the storms raging in their minds. As Gukesh begins the game with the white pieces, there is not a trace of fear on his face. Sitting across from him is the best in the world, but he is focused solely on the board. Carlsen is, as he always is, calm, appearing slightly indifferent, but actually alert like a tiger stalking its prey. The game begins with one of the most deeply rooted openings played for centuries, the Ruy Lopez, or the Spanish Opening. This opening is like a heavyweight boxing match in chess. You don't look for an immediate knockout. You slowly wear down your opponent, waiting for weaknesses. Gukesh's strategy is very clear. I will place my pieces on the most correct squares, control the center, and test Magnus's patience, he says. Carlsen, despite playing with the black pieces, refuses to defend passively and settle for a draw. That is where his genius lies. He is a player who can create a storm even in the calmest waters. For the first 15 to 20 moves, we don't see any major piece exchanges on the board. Both sides advance their armies inch by inch. As Gukesh maneuvers his knight from one side of the board to the other, Carlsen solidifies his pawn chain. These moments, which might look like nothing is happening to the observer, are actually the most critical moments where the players try to read each other's minds. As we reach the middle game, Gukesh makes a critical decision. He plants his knight right in the center of the board, into the heart of his opponent's defense. This knight, like an octopus, reaches out everywhere and begins to disturb Carlsen. To break this pressure, Carlsen risks ruining his pawn structure. In chess, breaking your pawn structure is like punching a hole in the wall of your house. You get fresh air, but the storm can get in too. Right at this point, the exchange of queens comes onto the agenda. Usually, when queens are removed from the board, amateur players think the game will end in a draw. But for Magnus Carlsen, the game is just beginning. He is the undisputed king of endgames. The phrase, "squeezing water from a stone," best describes Carlsen's style. He has a technique that can suffocate his opponent, even without queens. Gukesh, however, does not fall into this trap. He responds to this wearing down policy with the same hardness, the same composure. As the minutes tick by, that relentless enemy takes the stage. Time. Both players' clocks are running low. They no longer have minutes to think, but seconds. You can feel the tension when you look at their body language. Carlsen starts shifting restlessly in his chair. And right in this moment of chaos, Carlsen takes an incredible risk. He marches his king into the line of fire to win. But this courage is also an invitation. And we arrive at the moment that decides the fate of the game. Move 52. The pieces on the board have thinned out. Nerves are stretched to the breaking point. Carlsen makes a move with his knight. Knight 2+. There is the relief of a player who has found his plan on his face. His hand goes to his knight. He lifts it, places it on the e2 square, and says, check. At that moment, Carlsen thinks everything is fine. But the chess gods wrote a different script that day. Gukesh, without waiting, without hesitating, moves his hand to his rook. And bam! He slams his rook into the opponent's knight. This is an exchange sacrifice. Gukesh gives up his rook. Carlsen freezes. His hand seems left hanging in the air. That knight move, which he thought was simple, was actually suicide. By sacrificing his rook, Gukesh completely collapses Carlsen's defense. The remaining moves are like a funeral procession. Gukesh's pawn advances square by square to become a queen. Carlsen tries desperately to resist, running his king left and right, but it is futile. Fate has already woven its web. His young opponent makes no mistakes. That pawn is about to queen. And the final moment, Carlsen sees that he has no moves left. That desire to win inside him, that sense of perfectionism, suddenly turns into an explosion. First, he pushes the score sheet aside harshly. And then, slam! He slams his fist hard on the table. The whole hall hears that sound. This is not just anger. It is the expression of frustration with himself, the tension that has lasted for hours, and the pain of losing. Immediately after slamming the table, Carlsen remembers his professionalism and extends his hand. He shakes Gukesh's hand and resigns.